This is the Fifth Estate Winning Headlines, your media police post, coming to you from Nairobi, Kenya, from the Fort Hall School of Government. In this segment, we summarize some of the headlines that you may have missed this morning, but we also take a look at some of the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. Today is the 1st of November 2019, and I am 2M.
I am DM.
And I am JM. Welcome. In case you missed the headlines today, here they are. In the Daily Nation, Uhuru and RUTO fight for control of Parliament.
Yep.
In the Standard, did CS fake shillings 4 billion health kit contract? And in the Star, Mao Forest evictions, 41 MPs threaten Uhuru.
Yes.
Let's begin with the Nation.
So the Nation is telling us, reminding us that the Senate is debating the Public Finance Management Act tomorrow, next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so they're telling us that there are two factions. One will vote no, and that is the DP faction.
Yes.
And the other one will vote yes. And so the two leaders, there's the battle of the bosses, and they're working behind the scenes
Absolutely.
to get their different men and women to vote accordingly.
Yes.
And remember, this is the regulation that is proposing the increase of the debt ceiling to 9 trillion
Yes, to 9 trillion shillings.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's politics.
Yes.
Yeah.
But let me put it this way: a fight in Parliament is not the same as a fight in the Senate. You're looking about what, 47 senators plus 20 nominated, 67 in total. Now it's not the same as doing 290 plus, in total 349 MPs. Now, if these guys refuse to increase the debt ceiling to 9 trillion shillings, you're not just fighting the boss, you're actually fighting country. Because what will happen is Treasury will revise down public expenditure, and the guys that will suffer is government, and by extension Kenyans.
Absolutely.
But I must say also that on Twitter this afternoon, the Deputy President has dismissed this headline as fake news.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Completely speculative. In my view, in any case, Uhuru has the upper hand in the House.
Yes.
Right? He is a heavyweight compared to William RUTO, if at all. What they're saying is the case.
You're saying that particularly after the handshake.
Precisely.
The
because
numbers that the handshake accrues.
The numbers that the handshake accrue, they outnumber the numbers of William RUTO.
So this headline is speculative.
Speculative, but let me give the criteria that we use to judge our headlines. Is a headline repetitive or groundbreaking? Is it topical or speculative? And finally, is it thoughtful or just plain lazy?
Plain lazy.
So we dump this.
Speculative.
All right, great. Let's take the Star first, and then we'll move on to the Standard.
Absolutely.
Mao Forest evictions. What's happening here?
So 41 MPs from Rift Valley, including about 2 governors, they had a meeting yesterday. And they threatened Uhuru that if you are going to evict us from Mao Forest, we are going to take you to court. And we will use legal local means and international means. And I think that is the following directions from one William RUTO.
The headline itself, I must say, is very dramatic. I would buy it. I want to see who is threatening. I mean, parliamentarians threatening the president. You want to see that action? What's happening?
Absolutely. In my view, the government should hasten its steps in when it comes to relocating these people away from the Mao, because this is a very politically sensitive, subject. So the quicker it's implemented, the quicker we close a chapter, the better.
Let me actually just give some facts. Less than about 8% of Kenya's land is arable. Most of Kenya's agriculture is rain-fed. Now, if you're going to use the biggest water, if you're going to cut down the biggest water tower just for settlement purposes, what you're actually saying is this: the country will probably be starving in the next 15 years. So what would you
That's
do?
what the government is saying, that we're not.
Absolutely. And I mean, I would rather we just
so we park it.
I think we park that headline.
We park it, right?
It has good potential.
All right. And finally, in the Standard, what they're questioning here is whether the CS faked a 4 billion shilling health contract.
Yes.
So basically, the story here is that Philips, a company domiciled in Netherlands, was contracted to provide medical equipment to ICUs across county and national hospitals, worth 3.6 billion shillings. But a few days ago, the Ministry for Health presented estimates worth 4.5 billion shillings. And so when Phillips gave the presentation in Parliament, they disowned the 4.5 billion shilling contract.
Yes.
But the question there is, once again, what I think we're seeing here is journalists who are totally lazy and evil.
Extremely.
Who are not digging below the surface to actually do some serious analysis as to what is happening here.
Yes.
For example, moving from 3.6 to 4.5 probably has some very serious justification.
Absolutely.
And these things happen when you're doing such kind of services, when you're doing such kind of contracts.
Absolutely.
So that is standard procedure, and that is not reflected in the story.
Absolutely.
So in fact, this is actually coming off as a bit libelous, and the Standard should know that people can sue.
People can get lawyers.
Absolutely.
The difference here is what, 900 million shillings? 900 million shillings. I mean, maybe it's installation. And when you're getting an invoice, sometimes from a big company, even as Philips, sometimes they don't even put the tax provision because they don't know whether Treasury will, just
sometimes the ministry hasn't even told you all its needs.
Absolutely.
So the diagnosis here is that we have trigger-happy journalists who would want to sell corruption stories, and that is what they do.
Absolutely.
So the warning from JM is, or the counsel from JM is, get lawyers. People who are being implicated.
The CS ought to get herself some very good lawyers. And in any case, she's not even the one with the authority to incur expenditure.
Absolutely.
In the ministry. That is the role of the PS.
It's a PS. It's a principal
but it's
accounting officer.
her face that is smacked there on the
it's completely malicious.
top of the newspaper. So that account, we dump it.
We toss that.
Yeah.
So do we give it to the Star?
The Star gives us our winning
Yes. And all the political pieces, the vehicle cartoons in this country. We also have a 3-part criteria for this. Is the cartoon humorous or dry? Is it satirical or pessimistic? And finally, is it thoughtful or just plain lazy?
Yes.
What do we have in the Standard?
Here we have a drawing of hell. And Satan is welcoming one Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, as Mr. Trump would like to call him. And Baghdadi has entered hell. And he's so bloody and he's entered with a suicide belt. And
he looks very demoralized.
He looks demoralized.
Finished, crushed.
Yeah. And the devil is saying, Osama, you've got company.
It's telling us what we... It's telling us the obvious.
It's telling us the obvious, absolutely. I think
for that reason,
Gado didn't have to
put it aside.
But then what I'm also telling Gado is, why do we always appropriate American enemies as our own enemies? He's already condemned him to hell, meaning that Trump will go to heaven.
You never know.
On the Daily Nation, Ndula has drawn a caricature of a tank there in the foreground, and we see a very militant Matiang'i with a Rambo belt on his head, and he has a gun. And in the tank with him is Balala. And then in the background there is a chopper there, and hanging from it is a weeping William RUTO, also with a Rambo band on his head. And Balala, even in the tanker, is still in his bow tie. And then there's 2 other helicopters in the air. And then on the left we see a KCSE
So they're heading
sign.
towards KCSE.
Yes, that is where they're heading towards, because they've just, and where they've come from is KCPE. So this is just a depiction of the militarization of the exams. I mean, this past week we've been seeing a lot of military action around protecting exam papers and mitigating theft of answers and so on and so forth.
Absolutely.
I found it quite humorous. And the very humorous thing here also is that you see the DP at the end. Wants the chopper to come down, perhaps suggesting that he needs to go back onto his campaign trail. That's why he's trying to pull the chopper down. You guys are wasting my time.
But there's one thing here that I've noted. Why is he drawing Balala bigger than, fatter than Matiang'i?
What's your hypothesis?
Matiang'i should be
at the forefront. Only Ndula can answer that question. But what I also think about this and what the government is doing is that they're addressing a software problem using hardware. If you intend to cheat as a student, a tanker is not going to stop you, or a gun. And then also the original sin in all this fiasco for the exam is that we place too much premium on a few days that will determine a student's life.
But maybe I want to think opposite. Look, C.S. Magoha, and I like the man, he says that I think applying pressure on a child to get an A is damn stupid. And those were his words, those are not my words. And you see, if you're going to change the system, you have to change it from the bottom. If the kids know the way to getting success is cheating exams, then you have to fix it. I think it is the only way to fix this country.
So you fix it at the beginning, not at the tail end.
Yeah,
tankers
but you see, the tanks,
guns and grenades.
The tanks are not for the children, guys. The tanks are symbolism that we are about to change the system. Parents and teachers are in an unholy alliance to fix exams in this country. And the only way to get rid of this is to, unless the public tell us, let's fight this using technology. There's no need to get tanks and choppers and everything. We can put a cloud up there. We lock it with a kifuli in the sky, and then the children will not be able to cheat.
That sounds like a better solution to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then the star.
In the star, we have a Twitter bird, a blue bird there. So we're guessing it's a Twitter bird and sitting on a branch. It's perched on a branch, and underneath is the caricature of Donald Trump, the American president, and our very own loudmouth, Miguna. And underneath the branch...
Is he our very own, though, or is he Canadian? Belongs to Canada?
That's a good question. And under the branch, there is a lot of poop that is dripping on the heads of the two gentlemen.
Absolutely.
And on the left, it says politics, and on Miguna's side, it says fake news. Worth of note also is on Miguna's mouth, there is a gooey green substance that is not pleasant to look at. Palatable.
Meaning he's talking poop.
Yes.
He's talking poop.
Is this cartoon accurate?
I think it is. You know, not on the part of Trump.
Yes,
it might be, but on the part of Miguna, definitely. You know, he's been very. I don't even know the words. Colors, you name it. All those.
Even Trump.
All those words.
No, I like Trump.
Anyway. So who do
which
you
is
give
the
it
winning one between the two?
I will choose the...
I think the DP hanging from a chopper takes the day for me.
No, I like the Trump one. But
you like the Trump one?
Since you've overruled me. Trump, executive producer.
We have been overruled. So we get the winning cartoon from the start.
Absolutely.
And so, what is our final thought?
Well, and now our final thought, inspired by a book. Jesus, my grandmother would be scared.
That's the name of the book?
It's called Satanic Verses. The Satanic Verses by a crazy man called Salman Rushdie.
Before we get into the crazy book, I'd like to remind our viewers about the theme of the week and the books that we have covered this week. We've been looking at books that have been banned across Africa. And on Monday, we started here in Kenya with Ngugi wa Thiong'o's book, Petals of Blood, which he wrote in 1977. It was banned for allegedly inciting the people against the post-colonial government. And then on Tuesday, we looked at The Reds and the Blacks, a personal adventure written in 1967 by America's first ambassador to Kenya post-independence called William Atwood. And he revealed state secrets and political intrigues of Jomo Kenyatta's government, and that is why the book was banned. And then on Wednesday, we went to Nigeria and looked at Wole Soyinka's book, The Man Died, Prison Notes of Wole Soyinka, published in 1972, and it was also banned for exposing President Gowon's government Biafran War, the atrocities that they committed during the Biafran War. But the book was also giving us a description of Wole Soyinka's experiences during his time in prison. Yesterday, we looked at July's People by Nadine Gordimer. We went to South Africa. It was written in 1981. The novel was banned by the ANC government, supposedly because it was racist, and that is arguable. But in truth, at that time, when it was banned in 2001, she was calling out the ANC government for corruption. So today we go to Salman Rushdie. He's Indian, British and Indian. The Satanic Verses. He wrote this controversial book in 1988. Now, unlike the other books that we have covered this week, this book was not banned in one country, but in multiple intercontinental countries. It was also banned here in Kenya, in South Africa, in Sudan, in Bangladesh, in Sri Lanka, in India, and in other countries. So it was highly controversial. So Salman Rushdie is a British Indian essayist and novelist. He's very celebrated. He was actually knighted by Queen Elizabeth. So he's Sir Salman Rushdie, or Rushdie. In the year 2007. He also received the highest honor from France. He was appointed le commandeur de l'ordre des arts et des lettres. And with the recognition and awards also came threats and protests against him. In fact, this book sparked so much controversy that he had to go into hiding for two reasons. One, he had many threats of assassination, but also there was a fatwa issued over his head by the Ayatollah Khomeini of Iraq himself.
So what is it they said that warranted?
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. But the Ayatollah was actually calling all Muslims of the world to kill him when they catch him. And they also so out as a result of this, bookstores that were carrying his book were
also victimized.
They were bombed.
Publishers,
the publishers, the editors, the publicists, they were all in danger. So the main reason why...
In fact, they were also called the agents of the devil.
And by the way,
we call them publishers.
There was actually there was a £3 million bounty
on his head.
Wow.
So the guy was in trouble. He did go into hiding, but the British government gave him protection. In fact, the Secret Service, he was getting MI5 special branch protection. So it was banned primarily because the Muslim world saw the book as blasphemous. It was sacrilegious. So the book is a novel about two men who are Indian Muslims living in England. And the protagonists, in addition to the religious issues that he talks about in the book, are navigating issues such as love and death and migration and so on and so forth. But it is the religious part, as we said, that sparked the controversy. So one of the characters is called Saladin. He survives a plane crash. Only two of them survive. And as he's falling from the plane, he's transformed into the devil and he grows horns and goat legs. The other guy who also falls from the plane, his character, his name is Jibril. But as he is falling from the plane, he's transformed into the angel Gabriel, and he has a series of dreams. The first dream is a revision of the history of the founding of Islam. And it is the details of this dream that angered many Muslims. Now, I won't get into the synopsis of the book, but I'll give an example of elements in the book that now cause controversy. Number one is the naming. For instance, one of the characters in the book is called Mahood, which is a derogatory name for the Prophet Muhammad, and it was used during the crusade by the British. There is also in the book a brothel, and it is staffed, or the prostitutes in the brothel are called by the names of the Prophet Muhammad's wives. So you can see, and you see Muslims see the wives of Muhammad as the mothers of all believers, and he goes to call a band of prostitutes by those names. So personally, for the first time, I agree with the banning of a book. I don't agree with the fatwa on his head, but I agree with the banning of the book. I believe in free speech. You can talk about almost everything. But being very grotesque, I think his description in the book is very grotesque of a religion.
Absolutely.
I went back and I said, there must be something very crazy about this man. So I went back and decided, let me just do a little fact check on this guy. This guy was born in India, somewhere in Bombay, right? And he was born a liberal Muslim. Now he's an atheist, right? And he worked for the Indian Civil Service, I think as a teacher. But then they fired him because they couldn't match his certificates and where he had been previously.
Like Sonko.
So the guy moved to the UK. And I think deep down, this man had a crisis of identity, not just as a Muslim, but also as an Indian. He had some racial identity, and I think there's something he aspired to be. Right? And
I think you're very right. I really saw that in this book.
There's something he aspired to be.
There's an inferiority complex.
And if you read this book, I mean, in between there's some details there. He channels his character through Saladin, and Saladin being the goat, the guy with the hooves and the horns. But at least he's also very honest, channeling his character through Saladin. And there's something he writes, and I want to read this, and this is what actually convinced me that this guy was actually channeling his character. He says about Saladin, he had gone to some lengths to become a sophisticated man. Such degradations might be all very well for riffraff from villages in Sylhet, this is in India, or the bicycle repair shops in Gujranwala, which is in India, but he is cut from a different cloth. Now look, I think we've all studied abroad. There is a way diaspora people would behave, all right? Especially if you come from certain backgrounds. There is a risk to look different. All right, and there is also some social dynamics across the diaspora, but I have seen nothing like this, where a man actually takes his identity because he's comparing the South Asian communities in London, and I'm sure that because there's a Pakistani-Indian dynamic, and he's actually seeing the social classes, coming up. And if you come from a repair shop, you expect it to behave like someone who's come from a repair shop.
So he's imported the bias that he had in India and he's brought it to England, and now he is suffering through them.
What he actually did, he took his persona to England, washed it with jig, removed everything. And now wanted to behave.
He was reborn.
He's reborn to be like the whites.
And let me just pick up on that theme of rebirth.
Yes,
because the book also has some redeeming qualities.
Absolutely.
When you look beyond all the offensive things that he said about the Muslim
That's
religion.
True.
And one of the themes he talks about is metamorphosis and rebirth.
Yes.
And as you correctly pointed out in the very first chapter, in fact, he says to be born again, first you have to die.
Yes.
And this is in reference to Gabriel and Saladin, those two characters, the protagonists in the story. And I think the bigger point there is that throughout life, as individuals, we go through seasons of some sort of death and rebirth. Right? We have to reinvent ourselves.
Absolutely.
We have to renew our minds. We have to become innovative and this kind of thing.
Absolutely.
So that's the suggestion of the author, particularly in that theme and in some of those aspects in the book. And what he's saying there is that change and not stability is the normal mode in life. And he uses magical transformations in the book to indicate that people continually change and transform themselves into new people.
Absolutely.
And as we draw, now we're in the 1st of November. It surprises me. It actually shocks me how quickly this year has gone by. But as we draw to a close, we should also be reflecting at a personal level. At what we have accomplished this year.
Or not accomplished.
Or not accomplished. And what we want to accomplish next year. If we want to be reinventing ourselves, because we will have a capacity to do that, open a new chapter in our lives. And the best way to do that is to formulate a plan.
Absolutely.
That's the only way to make
like the Big Four.
To subdue time. Absolutely. Like the Big Four. So who has a Big Four? What is your Big Four? I'm challenging you people. What is your Big Four for next year?
I was really hoping you have a sermon today in the face of Satanic Verses.
But here it actually is the sermon, just the recognizing from this theme about rebirth, metamorphosis, recognizing that tomorrow is gonna be better than yesterday.
Absolutely.
That we shouldn't be imprisoned by our past
and the disruptions and the deaths and
absolutely. That we can open a new chapter every single day of our lives.
Fantastic.
Amen.
So that's on a positive note.
Absolutely.
We can close the week.
Absolutely.
Yes. On our day when we had a double win from the Star, which gave us the winning headline and the winning cartoon. I would not personally recommend that you read the Satanic Verses, but if you want to, you can get your copy from Raffle Books. You can find them on rafflebooks.com and on their social media pages that are on your screen. Thank you for joining us. You can please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we are also on your TV screens. We're on Go TV, Star Times, and on Palm Free to Air. Have a good weekend and see you on Monday.